And I recall a hadith we mentioned last week in relation to the majority of the believers that enter hellfire. What do they enter because of? Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, brothers and sisters, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives sins by saying that. He said, the majority of the reasons why Muslims end up in hellfire for a while is, he called it muhaqqirat al-dhunub. They are the sins that we take for granted. You know, like little things. They're forbidden, but they're not major, and we don't take them as important. We say, it's just a sin, man, it's alright, just a little bit. It's just a kiss, it's just a look, it's just a lie, it's just a little cheat, it's just a little theft, it's just once, it's okay. We take them for granted. What happens when you take a small sin for granted? When you don't care about it, or you're careless, what happens? What do? You keep doing it, you keep repeating it. That's the danger. When you take something so lightly, in our nature, we continue to repeat it until finally it becomes a habit. We're desensitized to it. We don't have any more, we're not sensitive to it anymore. And so it becomes a normal part of our life. Would you believe that some people, and I'm very sad to say that among the Muslims themselves, they have false hope. False hope. And so, sins in their life become so normal, like they're eating and drinking. It means nothing. It actually becomes halal to them. They'll think it's halal. It's alright. What's wrong with that? It's halal. It's okay. Why is religion so hard? Religion is not hard. We make it hard on ourselves. But when we take sins for granted, we ruin our character. You know, we tell our children, don't lie. Why are we so harsh on that? We are so careful that our children, they're 5, 6 years old, soon we teach them not to lie or steal. And we punish them. Why? Because we don't want this habit to develop in them. They're just children. They lied once or twice. It's not a big deal. No one's going to hold it against them. They're just children. But we're afraid of the habit. It becomes a routine. And so they become liars. They become cheats. They become thieves. Similarly, Islam forbid minor sins because of this same reason. So Rasul says, with great sorrow, many of the people of my ummah will enter hellfire because they take minor sins for granted, and therefore that becomes a ritual, a habit for them. So some people have false hope. God will forgive me. God will forgive me. You're sick, you're ill, you need to cure yourself. God cannot be fooled, subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a verse came down one time stating that the punishment of Allah is surely going to happen, the verse said this, إِنَّ عَذَابَ رَبِّكَ لَوَاقِعٌ. Surely, indeed, without a doubt, the punishment of your Lord is going to happen. The torture of your Lord is going to happen. Sahabas, some of the Prophet ﷺ's companions cried and wept like babies. Umar radiallahu anhu was on his camel. He fell off and he went unconscious for hours. Every time he would remember, he'd go unconscious. Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an ayah came down, says, وَطَعَامًا ذَا غُصَّةٍ وَعَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And they will be fed food that will make them choke, and there will be painful torture. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was eating a piece of food and he choked on it a little bit. Those who know it. There was a great Khalifa by the name of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. We say radiallahu anhu. He existed after the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he was such a righteous Khalifa, a leader of the Muslims. There was a woman who served his household, and he loved her, and she also loved him, as in love, as in like brother-sister relationship. She entered one time and said to him, I saw a dream, O Amir al-Mu'mineen. I saw so-and-so and so-and-so and you. As if the world had ended and you three were crossing the bridge over hellfire. The first one crossed and he fell. The second one tried to cross and he fell. And then came you, O Amir al-Mu'mineen. She looked up and he had gone unconscious. Amir al-Mu'mineen went unconscious. And then he awoke with her slapping him on the cheek, because someone slapping him on the cheek, and she is saying, Najawta ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, najawt. You were safe, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, you were safe. And that was the only thing that made him. What am I trying to say? Those people who knew what the punishment of Allah is like and hellfire is like, they cannot bear it. One Sahabi used to say to his daughter, my daughter, the remembrance of hellfire has made me unable to sleep many of the nights. Now, when you know about it this much, this is what actually happens to you. And what results in you? You become a more righteous person. you become a more humble person, become a better person to others. Your character becomes unbeatable. بإذنه تعالى.